So there's been a lot of uproar today because of the Roe v. Wade being overturned. I mean, Twitter's been going crazy with everyone on both sides of the argument yelling, why, how can this happen? And people are cheering for it, people asking how they can cheer for it. Some people can't understand how Christians can be for this, or I don't know, they probably expect it but don't understand it. Or, you know, people are like, oh, it's 2022, how can you still be like this, as if the current year makes any difference to morality? The point is, Christians have always been against abortion. There's a lot of people who like to say, well, Jewish people say, oh, we've always supported abortion, blah blah blah. But it's not entirely accurate. I mean, modern Judaism, yes, is quite pro-abortion, but that's only really since the 18th century. Before that, it was not necessarily in favour. They had allowances, but, you know, in serious life of risk to the mother, that kind of thing. But it wasn't like blanket carte blanche. Everyone's going to get an abortion. Anyway, I digress. So let's look at what early Christians actually said about abortion. There was a thing they would often talk about called exposing infants, which was a practice where if people didn't want a child, they would leave it by the side of the road, either to die of exposure to the elements, or for someone to pick up and take home and just adopt. This adopting usually meant going into prostitution, so it wasn't exactly a great outcome for the child regardless. So one of the earliest texts we have from Barnabas, the Epistle of Barnabas, not the heretical Gospel of Barnabas, where he says, you shall not kill the child by obtaining an abortion, nor again shall you destroy him after he is born. Then you've got the Didache, which is around the same time, this is between 50 to 70, 80-ish AD, which says, you shall not murder a child by abortion, nor kill one that has been born. Then you've got later texts which talk about women who take drugs to cause an abortion, which the church leaders were saying this is effectively murder. And then I'm going to read something from Tertullian, which is horribly detailed and sounds like a modern medical procedure. It's longer than I've got left for in this video, but come back for part 2 and I will read more of Tertullian's medical procedure that he recounts about how they abort children, and more about what the early church thought about this.